now, y'all. What's happening with the world shamans and them five shot and reporting on the Bamboozled Again News Network. With a little live. Y'all forgive me if I might be all over the place. Cause I got various talking points. I wanted to get this out just because it's been on my spirit for the past couple of days. So even though ain't nobody in here at the moment, I'ma just hop right into it, right? So whereas though I've talked about my child custody hearing on here, right? So I do now have legal sole custody of my child, right? So, going to child support, the Department of DHS here in Dorchester County, Maryland, face nothing but hindrances, roadblocks, as I like to call it, the moving of the goalposts. And reference just to be transparent, above board, because you got to do that, right? So I'll just get straight into it. So I've been emailing these people back and forth, going back to the office to check on the status of my case, the money I've paid into the system, that I've now proven the other party had lied, so on and so forth. Email them, evidence that, I didn't get to show in court, but either which way, it don't matter, right? And here's where, like, I had this propensity where I'll say stuff not realizing it's already happened or they're actually in the midst of doing it. So as we're emailing back and forth, whoa, what's up, CEO K? What's up with it, baby? Oh, my man sent me some beats, so between tonight and tomorrow, I'm gonna start working on my stuff. But I digress, right? So, we're emailing back and forth, and the way they're wording it is translating into my brain as, and I email them back and say, if I ain't know no better, it seems like y'all are trying to find some technicality or loophole to pay a person that I've proven has lied and defrauded y'all, right? So come to find out, what was this Friday as we're emailing at the work, because we're on the same email thread through the state of Maryland. They showed me up my payment history, and they said the hold that was on my child support was lifted 3 days before the final court date. I'm like, whoa, and so they paid the other person out, right? So I'm blown away. I'm like, well, y'all told me when I went for custody, and y'all had dates of, every, hearing and so on and so forth, and the final court date. Y'all had this. But why, and having this information, why would you release a hold on finances 3 days before the final court date? And again, why was I not notified of this change? Even though let me see, April. It's been over a month since the final court date. We've been emailing every week. You already done did this, but don't tell me. You know what I'm saying? So it had me like, y'all plan on doing this anyway. And as I stated in previous emails, and this is almost institutional narcissism, right? Whereas though, um, like you bring up a point and then they start talking about other points that had nothing to do with what you're talking about or trying to get clarification on. So I'm not in the business of taking nothing on the chin from nothing or nobody. So, I'll go back, to the court, get my child support amended. I'll probably have to call the congressman as I was advised to do by somebody else. But I'm not taking this line down. Um, I'm not accepting unacceptable stuff. And I don't care what it is. I don't care what the proverbial Goliath is. Exactly. Lawsuit. Like, and here's what's crazy. In numerous instances, I'll show these people where they told me something contradictory that they told me a previous time, right? And then they won't, oh, well, that wasn't right. So now I'm not supposed to listen to y'all. You see what I'm saying? So I had a situation where, okay, they say for about an 18-month period, I didn't pay. So what happened was, but they won't use the word retroactively in it. So me and my daughter mother have issues. In May of last year, she puts me back on child support. I'm like, okay, cool. I already knew you was gonna do that. I'm just thinking it's gonna pick up where it left off at. So somehow she gets them, or they advise, or whatever, to backdate it all the way to the time where I paid everything up, whatever. So I'm like, well, if that's the case and I haven't been deficient or delinquent for 18 months, how do I come back up here and get money back from y'all because I overpaid, and then email my worker saying my case was closed. So I believe it's closed, as somebody who worked for y'all tell me it's closed. They say, oh no, it wasn't closed. Technically, it was suspended. Okay, well, here's the contradiction. So if it was suspended, why didn't y'all continue to take money as I was still employed? A direct contradiction. Why not just continue to take the money? Because why would I make it even, you see what I'm saying, or zero or whatever, or above board, and then y'all just stopped taking y'all money when y'all were taking it straight through a wage garnishment? and I was still employed. But what they're trying to make it look like is that I've been deficient. So I get all this mail, like, out of nowhere, talking about I'm almost 4,000 in debt, and they ready to take my life. So when I go back up there, like, yo, what's up with this? Oh, you haven't paid, da da da. But I'm like, if I haven't paid, how on these dates, what I show with email, did I get money back from y'all? Because my case was actually closed in September. They didn't actually officially close it till like the first of the year. So I'm like, how does that work? And how do I get my license back during that time? Exactly. So it had me back. Now I know how to go about it. It's just when you get a W, it's like they it's like they just make you jump through more hurdles. It's almost like a war of attrition. You know what I'm saying? Trying to wear you out through legal means. Mind you, I filed CPS report. Mind you, I filed, fraud allegations. So in one of the emails, the supervisor say, well, if you filed a fraud allegation, I'm pretty sure they're going to deal with all the seriousness that it warrants. I'm like, I doubt they're taking this seriously. And it's been almost 9 months and I ain't heard nothing from them. Again, here in the state of Maryland, these oversight agencies don't oversee anything. It's come out in the news, the Department of Natural Resources misappropriated like $4 million. We got a nursing home that's here in the town I live in called Mallard Bay. The state agency that is, oversight over them has stacks of audits they ain't done in 2.5 years, but these people still employed. You understand me? If you call the unemployment number, the automated system will just keep asking you questions until it just clicks up. Like Maryland is essentially a failed state at this point. It's no different than, say, the soldiers who went through the process of crucifying Yeshua, right? They know it's not right, but it's just my job. But nobody stands up for what's right out of fear of running afoul of the system that's crumbling anyway. You know what I'm saying? But I have fought tooth and nail. Now I have my child now. Yesterday, it kind of picked my spirits up because we had a community event with the health department. And I saw her make new friends, and I saw her social engagements, and it made me feel like a pappy. But what you don't realize is pappy got some other stuff to fight because I fight for what's right, even if it come out at my own personal detriment. Within the last 2 years, I have, ran afoul, went to quote unquote war with a U.S. ran organization that is essentially human trafficking clients from Virginia to Maryland, violating all medical insurance fraud rampant out. I'm with the health department and the government, and we can't stop it. But everybody knows this to be a common truth. You see what I'm saying? All the staff members sleeping with the vulnerable clients with less than 60 days clean. And I'm like, yo, what is we doing here? It's, the sophistication of evil has penetrated every sphere of society at this point. I called out the practitioners of witchcraft, because whatever, right? And in the process of doing that, called out the sisterhood for splacking all these dudes. My soul has been very grievous lately, just looking observantly spiritually the state of the world. And it pains me because I'm trying not to get cold or callous or not care. But when you care, you understand that the people you care about don't care about their situation. They just want to play victim. I'm not in the business of being victimized, even if I am in this particular situation a victim. You know what I'm saying? Because victimhood attaches to your confidence and how you see yourself. And no, we're not doing that. So even if I don't win or whatever, I'm still going to fight because I had to fight to get to this point. It is the spiritual warfare and the societal pitfalls and so that made me who I am today. So we ain't ducking nothing. I'm not necessarily enamored with, I've never been an idol worshiper. So, these people, I don't care nothing about that. Evil only prevails when good men do nothing. But the thing of it is, they have to attack you when you stand up because you're getting in the way of, it's not even progress. It's going backwards into the abyss. Last night, I was up at Wawa about a little after 10 o'clock and seen a group of the young sisters come in. Now, you can tell they're young because, they got baby face. But they got all their body parts out, this, that, and the third, right? So it wasn't no lust. It was sorrow that I felt. Because essentially what I was looking at was the future single mothers of Dorchester County. And nobody seen the kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if you dress like that, then I can understand what type of time your mother on. Your father, depending on where he at with it, he either is kind of, neutered, economically, societally, from not imposing, but just being in your life to the point where you take his word with any wisdom. or to keep himself sane, he just stay away. You know what I'm saying? And I see this all over the place. And then you kind of want to do something about it. Then you realize, especially with community build, that you fighting for the community that you've left. Like almost heard tell me, you've left it, come back. Hey, Miss Pearl, you've left, come back. Now almost on a Harriet Tubman tip, and then realize the people enjoy their slavery. So it kind of gives a certain survivor's remorse, or you know what I mean? It alienates me from my own kind spiritually. You know what I mean? It, I don't know. It's hard to even quantify sometimes. That's why it was hard for me to kind of make content the past couple of days, because I had all these various things in my spirit. Got a homeboy, right? Come to find out, a brother who's been very instrumental in my journey, especially when I was younger, from just changing my energy so I didn't do nothing dumb, right? So I always esteemed the man for that. You feel me? Come to find out, because he's essentially throwing rocks at the penitentiary to financially take care of a woman who's in prison as we speak and is still getting high. He just got bagged up, and at almost 60 years old, he's facing prison time. To then do, they say it ain't nothing super spectacular, but even a couple of years to come out at 60, have nothing, start all over again, and then feel the need to get back on for image purposes and go back and do the very same thing that's taking decades off your life initially. Well, what's up, brother Anthony? It hurt me because I can't, I don't want to say save, I'm not Yeshua, but this is someone who's been instrumental in my journey, or I believe the Most High put in my path. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's so, I don't know if this one practice with, but he's so gone, he's unwilling to let go of the very thing that's causing him all his pain. She's cheated on him, disrespected him on the street, and you're throwing rocks at the penitentiary to take care of a woman who's still getting high in prison while you on the street. That's insane to me, and none of the homies can say nothing to him. Brother Anthony said, wish we had the weather. I'm drenched in the rain right now. Where you at, brother Ant? Hey, the rain fall on the just and the unjust. It might be sunny, but it's raining in my soul, though. Not necessarily because anything to do with me. I feel like Jeremiah, right? Where he constantly wept for his people. From my understanding, he kind of felt like he was failing the mission because he couldn't get the people to listen to him. Out of love, not out of judgment or condemnation. Out of love. You know what I'm saying? And then here's another one. And I got love for the system in a general sense, right? But every time, not just through the social media lens, but even in real life, I just see the most deplorable actions, yo. And it's saddening, like the Common song, I used to love her. But now that which I'm designed to love, I have to stay away from in wisdom. Because they're dangerous. Oh, okay, Charles, South Carolina, that's what's up. They're dangerous. You know what I'm saying? I've seen nothing but brothers get destroyed, lose their way, lose their essence, dealing with a harlot woman who it seems like is getting off in the spiritual realm by harvesting the soul of the proverbial good man or taking him off the path. The Remy Ma Papoose situation is a prime example of this. You know what I'm saying? And then you do whatever. But I've never seen a woman say, you know what, I messed up. Not even getting the detail, I messed up. The attacks on, you know, the image of the black man with Smokey Robinson and whatever Pete did it. But it's just, even though I do believe these people are kind of with other stuff. Well, what's up, brother K? What's happening with it? Even though I believe they kind of in a different sphere of society with secret societies and whatnot. I could see, and I was just thinking about this right before I came live. And I intellectualized, and maybe it's above my pay grade. But are we like this because we're truly like this? Or are we like this because we ain't seen nothing else? You know what I'm saying? Are the women really that harloted outright? Or is it because they're constantly bombarded with so much rhetoric and indoctrination that it's rewired their brain? Are we really rejecting God because we don't like God for whatever reason? Or is it because we've never seen examples of God in our community outside of any kind of organization that typically is puppeteered by the puppet masters? I just come to find, well, I was kind of getting certain information about this, but I just come to find out that a lot of the heroes I esteemed or read books about when I was younger growing up were a part of secret societies or what's them people? Not the Boule, but what the other people's is, like Eastern Stars and all that. Even our heroes, quote unquote, were manufactured. It's almost like they build people up to get you hopeful, to then tear them down, destroy you, and psychologically affect you. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't believe nobody who's online, for the most part, quote unquote, telling your Charleston Whites of the world or your 607 Uncs. They're telling a lot of truth, but they're still aligned with the system in an attempt to get ahead or to kind of subvert the spiritual natural awakening that's supposed to take place. Because the adversary knows scripture probably better than us. You know what I'm saying? So now you can, like, somebody can say something true to you that could benefit you, but they themselves are a lot. And if you chime into them too much, or become a worshiper of man, these people will lead you astray. Like the video I said, that all roads lead to Rome. The narrow path is seemingly getting narrower. You got to battle the flesh every day. I'm constantly checking myself. Now, I feel justified in, let's say, vengeance, right? But vengeance ain't mine. So then I got to sit with the feeling of wanting vengeance and justification while not doing it. That's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because that feeds to my flesh and my ego. I'll be honest. I don't want to see nobody hurt, but I want to see justice. So in relation to my child, I want somebody's job. I want to avenge John the Baptist. I want somebody, the proverbial head, or somebody head proverbially on my platter and hand it to me. Yeah. So you know not to fool with me no more. Leave me alone. But even when they want to be left alone, there's always a constant battle. And I'm well suited to handle it. But that's why I'm kind of at the park here or whatever, about to do some upside down push-ups to recharge myself, to keep oil in my lampstand. You know what I mean? Because the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but the one who endures to the end. So let me make sure I'm enduring correct. I'm taking my proper rest. I'm handling my business. I'm staying top of my feelings and emotions. I'm praying. I'm fasting. You understand me? Because actually all the stuff that, let's say, I got victories in through endurance didn't come by my hand. Just like at the court date. I had a plethora, umpteen amount of evidence of lies and contradictions, perjury, false statements. You know what I'm saying? Financial improprieties. But the evidence wasn't presented the way the court proceeding went. The fact that they contradicted themselves, you know, among minimal scrutiny is what created the questioning. You know what I'm saying? Just like I've shown these people at child support, at this date, you just contradicted what you said to me now. So I'm emailing them back the stuff they emailed me and don't answer none of my questions. Just like if you arguing with your girl or something, they don't deal with, they start taking you to left field, so you never get to the crux of the matter. So I end up having to say the same thing 40 different times, which I don't like repeating myself. But then they'll talk about other dates or stuff that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about or trying to get clarification on. So I truly believe, based on action, don't want to believe, but based on action, that these people are the gatekeepers of the, and in this county, and you can look it up, outside of Baltimore City, we're the best at all the worst teenage pregnancy. The STD rates are mind-boggling, Jack. Everybody, case in point, right? So what was that? Friday, I had to take some clients, you know, to certain meetings and stuff like that, right? So I'm crossing over the street and I see this one particular client who, it's obvious she has mental health issues, right? I just saw her taking a nap in front of the church, right? So as I'm going through the stop sign, it's like she's just standing there, right? But then as I'm coming closer, I don't know if she's trying to break in the car or something. I know the woman, so I'm like, hey, what you doing? But right before I do that, she opens the car door and gets in the car, right? But then I'm so fixated on her, I then look at the car she's getting into, and it's my homeboy car. Hold, please. So I'm like, no, what? No, nah, I know cuz ain't, no. This woman looked like the drunk woman on Martin, except she just Caucasian, right? No, I don't want to believe. I had to call my other home. No, I don't want to believe this one, cuz. No, sir, no. I'm ready to lose hope and just everything at this point. So I finally get around. I call my man. I say, yo, cuz, where you at, bro? Now, mind you, he works in the next town over. So he tells me he had gotten into an accident and his uncle took his other car to get an estimate on it. I say, yo, cuz, woo. Thank you, Jesus. I said, cuz, man, you might want to holler on. Because I just seen him trip off with the woman with mental health issues. Comes to our center, she routinely pees on herself. But somehow, she's still able to sell body parts. I got my, it's not even, You know what? You know how they say you got black fatigue and all that. I got Babylon fatigue. How are women, the lowest? I'm not judgment, but how are they still able to sell? Then it make me despise dude. Why would? Huh? You can't get a better version of a 304, but the woman with mental health issues that pees on herself, and these the brothers we got to deal with, man. It's frustrating seeing it. And mine ain't got nothing to do with me, but just saying it. So I was, lucky, because I didn't want to believe my man was going like that. But I said, wow. Yeah, I go to meetings, right? I go to meetings, you dig? And let's say the woman, she looked like a potato skins, right? Just be honest, yo. But then she'll be at this meeting if I had to supervise it, and she's talking about all these dudes she's running. I'm like, huh? You look like a potato picked up off the ground, but according to you, all these dudes want you, and you working them and manipulating them. Had to sit in on a meeting of a woman who celebrate 5 years. Now, we know mutual people, but she ain't got no 5 years. Before I went to rehab, we was at a common area where she was drinking. Then I saw the Muslim man, right? He just had a baby with a Hispanic woman, but he's sitting in the meeting with his ex. Ain't nobody got no do right in them no more. Just do right, simple, just do right. That take all the thought. And then they masquerade and this, that, and the third, and it make me angry. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, I ain't lied to nobody about not nothing. As far back as I can remember, once I got on this journey, everybody know I'm telling the truth, but then when you start telling the truth, they act like they don't hear you. So that I keep repeating, I put it in your face, you act like you don't see it. But if I were to make one misstep off the path, man, they rain down a hammer on me. You know what I'm saying? But it killed, or envy not the wicked when they prosper in their way. Just saw a clip, right, with the food, I guess the Trump House or whatever, or the Republican House, excuse me, has, legislating a bill. I think it has to go to the next step for a massive cut in food stamps and Medicaid. From my understanding, he's going to divert that, like with HUD, to more like states deal with that. The state of Maryland can't handle what they got going on now, let alone some more responsibility. And I'm prepping myself to see the worst. I see it now, but ever more so as the illusion and, whatever you want to call it falls away, the worst in human behavior. Brother turned against brother, mom against daughter, father against son. I see it being prepped up along political ideological lines. You know what I mean? This should be the time, in common sense, without the spiritual component, it would make sense to work together, for survival purposes. Burying, old grudges and what, and we can't do it. And we can't do it. So I'm literally in new time, like Jeremiah, witnessing not my people carried in captivity, because we already here. I'm watching their destruction. And it seemed like I can't even save one other than myself. Oh, outside of my household, my family, stuff like that. But outside of that, and I'm not pronouncing judgment on nobody, that's above my pay grade. But when I look at it, I don't see with any kind of fortification of character, mental fortitude, spiritual discipline, how you gonna make it? How? Like all your skills, money, let's say gold gun, ain't gonna protect you from what's coming. You know what I'm saying? It got the kids sad. I thank y'all for listening just for me to get this up off. It's almost like a therapy session. You know what I mean? But I'm still gonna fight the good fight, reload, and go back to war. We'll be in spiritual warfare probably to the day we leave up out of here. And I just, accepted that fact. You know what I mean? Like David, he was anointed, his hands were anointed for war. That was part of the reasoning of him being on earth. It wasn't necessary to live no cushy lifestyle or he got, but he was out of, let's say, running from Saul, from my understanding, from 13, 17 years. And he's anointed to be the king. It alludes to it in Psalms and so forth, and so forth. But I can only imagine his prayers, let's just say 15 years, knowing you're supposed to be the king, but trying to figure out how it's going to happen. Here it is, right? Get the drop on the person who's trying to take you out, and you can solve all this right now. You got him, dead to rights. But you just somehow know that ain't the way the Most High want me to go about it. And you let him lay to run around and be chased by the same individual again. That's real. I want to get, I think on a small degree, I'm to that point. I'm just quote unquote tempted to do it in my mind. But behaviorally, my spirit stops me from doing that. My spirit stops me from dealing with the harlot. My spirit, even though I play with it in my mind, my spirit stops me from seeking vengeance on my own hand or trying to vindicate myself. And I learned the hard way, the detriment of doing that, when I shared on here, when I told my daughter something. I probably it was true, but I probably shouldn't have told her, because I was getting tired of the attacks and the hindrances and so on and so forth. You know, I wanted to clear my name. You know what I mean? But in clearing my name, I actually hurt. Now we've both been restored since then, but I was just like, man. So I learned, made a mistake. Okay, we ain't gonna do that no more, because I couldn't sleep until I made it right and apologized. Now she didn't accept the apology at the time, but at least, you know, I owned up to what I did. And that's another thing, right? Very seldom do I see a lot of people, even in the Hebrew Israelite camp, they had the knowledge, but not the fruit. Where's the love at? Where's the compassion? It's just a whole, and I think those people will be used in whatever race war they're conjuring up. You know what I'm saying? They're all 501c3, and the catalyst or the origins of Hebrew Israelite congregations here in America have a Masonic ties, you know, and origins. So now even the law are telling you the truth to charm you into them. It's amazing, Jack. You don't even know what you're looking at is real no more. You don't know if people who are acting genuine are truly that, or they putting on the donning of genuineness because they want to lead you astray. Because the more people they lead you astray, the more worldly, I guess, gifts or pursuits they can harbor for themselves. Which is amazing to me, if you know the truth and know what's going to happen and still play for the other side. Wow. So you know the narrative. You know this is going to fall apart. You know what the beast system and so on and so forth is going to do, the one world religion. And you still play along with it for the trinkets and rudiments of this world. I like the earth, but I want nothing to do with the world. My spirit don't like it, yo. That's why I routinely find myself by myself. Not out of force, but out of choice. Because even when I went and seen the homies that told me about my partner, they still talking. I mean, I get it, but I don't know. It's hard to even quantify. Now, here's another thing. Now, we'll watch movies about heroes and be inspired, but in our personal lives, we enjoy playing victim, especially as a man. Oh, they did. Like, okay, I'll go back to Pat Boostner. Now, from my understanding, he said he knew the woman was cheating on him, and you still stayed with her. That's on you, cuz. So what do you expect the woman to do? So I'm not even really mad at her. I'm mad at him. But again, illusions being destroyed of urbanized black love is just like all the other love in the black community in the world. Transactional, it's just. Here's another one, right, that I struggle with, right? So I know in the word talk about if you burn with lust, it's better for you to marry, right? So let's say you burn with lust. Okay, to solve that so I can be in right stand, let me get married. But there's no marriage material out here, and this isn't a society that through the legal system or just societally, so on and so forth. This isn't a wise place to get married on paper, let alone find a worthy, mate, spouse for what's coming. You know what I mean? So it's almost like they make it almost unwise to live by the word, but you gotta take wisdom with you. You know what I'm saying? Now I do this. Now I don't really do it. I don't know how to do it. Where you supposed to rejoice where people spitefully use you and things of that nature, right? I don't want to be used, so I just stay away from folks. Because I don't like the energy it puts me in. You understand me? So I just stay away. Because everybody's, it's almost a carnivorous societal environment with everybody just trying to get over. It don't even matter what it is. It could be something as simple as you give somebody a sandwich. They don't necessarily need the sandwich, but they get on the fact that they got it out of you through manipulative means. You just gave somebody a sandwich. You ain't tripping off no sandwich. You know what I mean? It's like I don't even know whatever happened back in 2019, 2020. If we're even scientifically, if you took certain positions, I'll put it that way. I don't even know if you're still designated as a human, because I see so many humans that I don't resonate with. It's like there's something else internally, or they're inhabited by, and maybe that helps contribute to the inhabitation of spirits and so on and so forth. It's crazy. Check it, right? And here's what's so crazy about this, right? Back to my own personal situation with child support, whatever, right? So one day this week, I forgot what day it was. The other parent calls me and asks me to keep I guess a psychological appointment. I'm like, no. Well, first I got an email saying they had an appointment. So I called them like, what appointment is this? I wasn't notified. I don't know nothing about this appointment. And the doctor man who prescribes Adderall hasn't called me yet, and it's been over a month. Why main man ain't called me? We not doing nothing until I hear from cuz, right? We'll relay the message. Yeah, this about the second, third time y'all said that. But if you want to keep seeing my child, which probably not gonna happen anyway, but I want to talk to the main man. He already know he don't want to deal with me. That's why he ducking me. So y'all ain't gonna get paid. So that's how we gonna carry that till I hear from cuz, right? So then my child mother called me and said, yo, are you able to, can she please make this appointment? So I'm like, no, because I ain't heard from cuz. So she get to going in, whether it's and you never know if it's true or not. Well, I'm not gonna make my bills, and I'm threatening being put out, and this, that, and the third. Can you? I wasn't giving the pills to the child. I was selling them. So now, basically, you just tried to bury me. You hindered me for almost 9 months as far as taking care of my child. Now you're asking me essentially to do something that I don't want to do, so you can sell prescription medication to make your bills. The audacity, folks. Like, man, people crazy, yo. But this is what the Negro got to deal with. Now, by no means do I want to see her out and destitute, so on and so forth. But at the same time, it's not like I forgot. And you got to be careful. Because I believe they know that. But they're still trying to slither and find a way to get what they want. Now, I'm of the belief, if you build like that, you can do what all the other women seemingly do to get their bills paid. You know what I mean? But you just tested me to see if I essentially break the law to help you out, even though you've done everything in your power and didn't know that. And you got child support checks from a time when you know the child wasn't living with you, but you didn't tell me that. It's real in the battlefield, but I'm going to just keep on keeping on, you dig? I got to get to my exercise, get back to my fundamental, you know what I mean? I want to thank everybody for like, sharing, subscribing, those who, contributed. This time y'all helped me. One love, baby. Oh,